Hey guys, welcome back. I'm kind of just, trying to fit this in where I can today. I've been meaning to talk about this for a while. So let's get down to it. ICE is destroying this country. Um, there's a few signs and it's never in any order when you look at a fascist takeover. When you look at authoritarianism, it's never in any specific order. They go after what they say they're going to go after, then they go after more, then they go after more, then they go after more. They try to shut you up. Well, we've been seeing the shut up part from the like them trying to shut us up from the beginning of the Trump administration, trying to limit press passes. Um, Back in his first administration, calling every every outlet that disagreed with him fake news, trying to get the FCC to get Jimmy Kimmel fired. Um, the Paramount CBS merger that's going on. Trump has a say in that, and that's probably the reason that Stephen Colbert is getting fired. There's too much of a coincidence. There's too much there for that to be a coincidence. Um, he also said he's going to go after through the FCC any television show or I guess station channel that gives him bad coverage. He said he's going to cancel their license. Their license deserves to be canceled, in his own words. So I wanted to start on ICE with this one. WGN employee Debbie Brockman, detained by Border Patrol agents, issues statement. I don't think this was the only journalist that was detained by ICE or Border Patrol or federal troops in recent months, but this is the one that I've paid attention to most. So this was posted back on October 14th. I believe it was a week before this. I believe it was, almost the beginning of October. So I'm late, yes, but I'm not doing this full time. So just days after she was detained by Border Patrol agents on the city's north side, attorneys representing WGN Creative Services employee at the center of incident released a statement. The statement was shared on Tuesday morning by attorneys at People's Law Office, which is representing Debbie Brockman. On Friday, Brockman was detained after Border Patrol agents said they were conducting immigration enforcement at a busy intersection in Chicago's Lincoln Square neighborhood at the height of rush hour. She was released later that day without charges. So, right there, they're admitting no, she was not charged with anything. She did not commit a crime. WGN initially chose not to name the employee as she was not charged with the crime, which is standard practice in coverage. So I'm glad that she made a statement, or this is being reported on at least. The full statement from People's Law Office on behalf of Debbie Brockman is below. Debbie Brockman, the WGN employee who was physically attacked and arrested in Chicago, Illinois by federal agents on October 10th, 2025, would like to provide following information to clarify any misunderstandings or misrepresentations that have been previously reported. First off, Ms. Brockman wishes to clarify that at the time of the incident, she was not acting in any professional capacity as an employee of WGN. Watching her ass, making sure she doesn't get fired. I like that. I appreciate that. I can empathize with that. During the morning hours this past Friday, Miss Brockman was walking to the bus stop as part of her morning commute when she was attacked by Border Patrol agents. Again, these people are disrupting people's lives, and police are starting to get pissed off about this because she's a civilian here. She's not even acting in a journalism capacity. Like, she is just a person going to work this morning when this happened. Miss Brockman, who is a U.S. citizen born in this country, was violently detained on Foster Avenue on the north side of Chicago. As this occurred, individuals on the street began recording the incident and asked Miss Brockman her name. In addition to providing her name, Miss Brockman stated that she worked for WGN. She added this information because she hoped someone would notify her employer so her coworkers would know that she would not be arriving at work that day. Now, there's a video of this, I'm pretty sure, unless it's another journalist. I'm pretty sure it was this one, unless it was a journalist in Portland. But they have her on the ground face down, and she's, nothing against her. She's a thicker woman, older, thicker woman that might actually be very dangerous. We saw, not that she's on drugs, but we saw what happened to George Floyd, and he fucking died. So yeah, you can get hurt at the very least, if not have deeper, health issues coming from something like this. Being put in that position, face down on the ground, and being pressed, putting heavy weight on you by a fat ass police officer or border patrol agent in this case. They call them Meal Team Six at this point for a reason. They're fat shit right wingers. They're just doing this because they're racist and they like owning the libs. A few of them have actually said things like that on the job. Liberals ruin this country. You're a fucking liberal. Something like that along those lines. They are not they're not peace officers, is what I mean. So Ms. Brockman was detained and held in federal custody for approximately 7 hours before being released. She has not been charged with any crimes, and she intends to pursue all legal avenues available to her to vindicate her rights and hold the federal authorities accountable for their actions. Ms. Brockman is being represented by attorneys from the People Law Office in Chicago. So this goes on to basically explain, who's representing her. So on to the next thing. This video is just self-explanatory. I'm a U.S. citizen. ICE agent tackle teenager outside Walgreens.
They're going inside of Walgreens. They got someone inside of Walgreens. What the? That just walked inside of Walgreens. Oh shit! Man, they got border patrol outside. That guy just ran inside of Walgreens. Here comes the other one. God, please protect our people. Here comes another one. They ain't getting no criminals. Whoa, whoa.
See, he puts the mask up.
You don't know what's going on, so get the
You guys didn't identify yourselves as officers. You don't have badge numbers. You don't have names. You got masks on, and you're arresting U.S. citizens. In this case, it looks like he's arresting a kid. Yeah, a teenager. It says.
They got someone inside of Walgreens.
So there's that. There's another video. I couldn't find it at the moment, but there's a video of an ICE agent in an SUV hitting a child getting out. He was on his bike. He hit the back tire. Kid couldn't get away. He gets out of the vehicle and throws him to the ground and arrests him, or at least detains him. This is one that's been just nonstop living in my head. A U.S. citizen was detained by ICE twice. Now he's fighting back. Hey, Kyle Schwarber, please get off of my fucking newsfeed. Couldn't win us the World Series. You couldn't even get us there. So please get out of here right now. All these pop-ups. Leo Garcia Venegas, I think I'm saying that right. I apologize, Leo, if I'm wrong, is a natural-born American citizen who just wants to work in peace, but the federal government won't let him. He has been swept up in U.S. immigration and customs enforcement raids at work, not once, but twice, where he was assaulted, handcuffed, and treated like a criminal by agents of the U.S. government. Garcia is a construction worker in Baldwin County, Alabama. Every day he goes to work and helps build homes needed to support the region's fastest growing population. And every day he works in fear. Earlier this month, he partnered with my nonprofit law firm, the Institute for Justice, to file a lawsuit against ICE and several other federal agencies, senior officials, and officers responsible for enforcement immigration laws. It all goes back to early 2025. On his first day in office, President Donald Trump rallied federal agencies, including ICE, to start conducting mass deportations of undocumented immigrants. Now, if you remember, let me say this actually. That effort has involved in border czar Tom Homan's words, massively expanding worksite enforcement operations. The guy who took $50,000 as a bribe, and the whole administration is acting like it never happened. They can't provide receipts. Yeah. So that guy's a piece of shit. But besides that, going back to the beginning of the Trump administration, there's some Democrats who are as guilty as fuck on this too. They voted for the Laken Riley Act. I believe John Fetterman and Ruben Gallego, I know at least are two, there's more. They voted for this. This basically abolishes due process for undocumented immigrants, but more so, it gives leniency for ICE, it seems, Border Patrol, to just arrest people based on their skin color. I think there was a Supreme Court decision recently, unfortunately, that said they're kind of allowed to do that also. Um, yeah, this country's going to hell. This is one of the worst things to happen in my lifetime in this country. FDR was great in so many ways. The worst fucking thing he does or had done was the Japanese internment camps. Basing criminality and patriotism, but criminality in general, because I don't give a fuck if you're a patriot, if you live here and you abide by the rules. I don't care. But basing someone's civil rights and criminality on their skin color, whether they were Japanese under FDR or Hispanic now under Trump, it's not okay. And I wasn't okay with Biden and Obama deporting as many as they did. Most of those fucking people probably didn't commit a crime under Biden. I know most of those people did not fucking commit a crime under Obama. He was the deporter in chief for a fucking reason. But this is a step further. It's targeting American citizens now. It's targeting documented immigrants. Officers storm into the non-public area of businesses armed with guns and often detain anybody who they think looks undocumented. What does that mean? Many of the people swept up in these raids are American citizens. There you go. These raids have hit the Alabama construction industry particularly hard. Officers have been raiding private work sites for months. Construction workers, including citizens, are afraid to go to work. Garcia's experience shows why. Um, this isn't going away. He's not going to be the only one. In May, he was working on a posted and fence site, preparing to lay the foundation for a new home when masked agents burst in and started detaining everybody who looked Latino. They left a group of non-Latino workers alone. When Garcia told them he was a citizen, the agents tackled and handcuffed him anyway. Even after inspecting his real ID, a credential issued only to citizens and lawful residents, the agents kept Garcia restrained for about an hour. Once you see that real ID knowing he's a citizen, let him the fuck go. There was no reason for this. Then in June, it happened again. Federal agents entered a nearly completed house in which Garcia was working, cornered him, and ordered him to exit so they could check his status. Once again, Garcia produced his real ID, and once again, the agents refused to accept it. They marched him several blocks to a lineup with other workers they had detained, including another citizen and lawfully present worker. So in this instance, he wasn't the only citizen they detained. Only releasing him 20 minutes later, Garcia was not charged with a crime after either raid. Well, I hope he sues the fuck out of them. Um, the federal government claimed that Garcia physically got in between agents and the subject they were attempting to arrest and refused to comply with numerous verbal commands. Well, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to have video cameras, so chest cameras. If they don't, that's a new law that needs to be enacted. Um, yeah, obviously he's not the only one. They just mentioned in this one fucking instance, he was not the only one. This is one that's actually been on my mind for quite a while. South Korea charter plane to fly home over 300 workers detained by ICE at Georgia Hyundai plant. So, this was back in August, I think. Yeah, this article's from September, early September, September 7th. They're just going after people who are legally here working now. These are South Korean people who I believe most, if not all of them, had visas, work visas, to work here in a Hyundai factory in Georgia. South Korean's foreign minister is considering a trip to the U.S. to meet the Trump administration after hundreds of South Korean nationals were arrested in Georgia this week at an electric vehicle battery plant. We are deeply concerned and feel a heavy sense of responsibility over arrest of our nationals. Foreign Minister Cho Hyun said at an emergency meeting in Seoul, according to the national Yonhap news agency. He said South Korean President Lee Jae-myung, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that, called for all-out efforts to swiftly resolve the matter. Yonhap reported, stressing that the rights and interests of South Korean nationals and the business operations of South Korean companies investing in the United States must not be infringed upon. U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement agents arrested 475 people, most of them South Korean nationals, in a raid Thursday at a massive electric vehicle plant under construction in Ellabelle, Georgia, near Savannah. The plant is a joint venture between Hyundai Motor Group and LG Energy Solution. On Sunday, Presidential Chief of Staff Kang Hoon Sik said that South Korea and the U.S. had finally finalized negotiations on the workers' release, with South Korea planning to send a charter plane to bring more than 300 workers home as soon as remaining administrative steps are completed. Now, if they were there legally, why are they being sent home?